I'm so lucky. It's the way of the
People who cheat in their speedruns are hilarious because they're terrible at hiding the fact that they cheated. These are the funniest fake Minecraft speedruns. This speedrun, you are in for a wild ride. I have no idea what Vlogstar is, but it's probably some sort of goofy third-party recording app. Their timer is cut off. They've clearly already been playing in this world. As soon as the speedrun begins, who is this man? When the speedrunner looks away and they look back, the guy is just gone. Then, when the speedrunner enters this villager house in front of them, in the corner of their screen, there is a tank. Well, immediately after that, they look away, opening the chest, and there is just a very large amount of obsidian and a single flint and steel. Way to be subtle, buddy. Then the speedrunner moves over to the next house, and in that chest is a stack of golden apples, a lightly used diamond pickaxe, and a shield. But hang on a second, while the speedrunner is equipping their shield, what kind of haircut did Minecraft Steve get? Look how they massacred my boy. The next few moments are just stimulus overload, so let me break it down piece by piece here. The speedrunner very casually walks by a tank. Then there is just a cavern full of diamond ore blocks, and when they enter the cavern, it is completely lit up with billions of torches. At the bottom of the cavern, there is even more diamond ore, so naturally, the speedrunner casually mines this ore. My question is, the speedrunner already has basically everything they would need. They waste so much time mining this diamond ore. What is the purpose here, buddy? After that, though, you can hear the speedrunner whispering under his breath, saying, "I need a sword."
I need a sword.
Immediately after, there is a sudden cut where there's a netherite sword on the ground, and then in the corner of the screen, you can see the mysterious person from earlier just floating away into the sunset. This is so goofy. Well, the speedrunner now decides they're going to create a nether portal. In a very strange way, a very inefficient way, some would say. There is no reason at all to make it so tall. They took so much damage in the process of creating it, but anyways, they light it with their flint and steel and enter the nether. Once the speedrunner spawns into the nether, though, there's really no good way to see what's happening on the screen, but somehow they just burn to death by accident. And then when they spawn back in, their computer is so slow that the only thing that has rendered on their screen is the tank. This is too painful to push through. Well, yada yada yada. The speedrunner gets items again, they return to their nether portal, and they're back in the nether. And again, you can see their friend just floating in the corner of their screen. On top of that, how did a cow get here? I don't even know. The speedrunner just aimlessly walks around, wasting so much time until they get hit by a gassed fireball and they die again. Well, the speedrunner spawns back in, they're in the nether, they've got nothing. It's 5 minutes into the speedrun. At this point, a professional speedrunner would have been in the stronghold by now, I don't know. There is a stone bridge in front of them. How much more ridiculous is this gonna get? And wow, would you look at that, the stone bridge leads right to a nether fortress. How lucky. There's only one problem. The speedrunner cannot get up to the nether fortress. So their friend comes back to the rescue, giving them a variety of random blocks, at which point their friend hits them off of the bridge by accident, almost killing them again. So the speedrunner builds up to the nether fortress. Somehow a netherite sword just appears in their inventory. I have no idea how, and they die again. How much more of this speedrun do I have to watch? Come on, guys. So the speedrunner spawns back in. They're in creative mode. They look around, and there's just blaze rods all over the ground. I am in physical pain at this point. There is so much time being wasted. You're in creative mode, why not just float on back to the nether portal? I don't know. They put themselves back into survival mode, but after that happens, all of their items just suddenly multiply, at which point, if you were thinking this couldn't get any worse, it does. They walk forward, they find a chest. Inside the chest is an AK-47 and P90.
In an instant.
Items in this chest are just magically appearing out of thin air. A used pair of pants, a sword, a pickaxe, a desert eagle, RPG ammo, a prison shank. What is happening here? Then suddenly the speedrunner is just in creative mode. Very casual. So the speedrunner gives the desert eagle to the piglin, while you can very clearly see their friend in frame on the screen here, and they did a horrible job at attempting to crop their friend out. Their friend throws golden ingots onto the ground. The speedrunner wastes so much time tossing these golden ingots at the piglin. I don't know if their game is broken at this point, but the piglin is just not taking the bait. They are not picking up these ingots. I don't know if I'm just exhausted from watching this speedrun, but I genuinely cannot figure out why the piglin won't take the gold. Anyways, it doesn't matter. Their friend just starts pooping out ender pearls in front of them. And now that the speedrunner has blaze rods and ender pearls, the next logical step here is to craft Eyes of Ender, right? No, well instead they're still in creative mode, and they search Ayai and Ayer, and despite having all the necessary items to craft Eyes of Ender, they just give it to themselves from creative mode. That's when you hear them say this.
I'm gonna cut this out, okay?
I'm gonna cut this out, okay? Buddy, I am witnessing the final cut. This was not cut out. And I'm sorry, wait a second. While they are browsing in creative mode, what in tarnation is that? Is that a bird? A pufferfish on a stick? Yeah, just like that, they're back in the overworld. The speedrunner returns to the surface, they throw their Eye of Ender, their friend floats up into the sky, all normal things here. They walk by a full-sized tank, like I said, all normal Minecraft things. After throwing an unnecessary amount of Eyes of Ender, the speedrunner just magically goes into survival mode out of nowhere, and things just continue to get worse. They start typing in the chat box a question mark, then just /locate structure stronghold, which clearly did not work. And after trying to use commands to locate a stronghold, you can very clearly hear the speedrunner say this.
Anyway, guys, I gotta chant the special theme song.
That they have to chant a special theme song? What?
End puddle, please spawn beneath me.
That's very interesting. I've never heard that theme song before. That would be a miracle if that Yeah, they dig down beneath the diamond ore block layer, and underneath them is an end portal. I don't think I'm gonna make it to the end of the speedrun, I'm just gonna be honest. At a world record time of 5 minutes and 50 seconds, the speedrunner is now in the end. There is an obsidian bridge leading the speedrunner to the end island. You can very clearly see their goofy friend building this bridge right in front of them in plain sight. It is hilarious seeing this horrible speedrunner using an assault rifle up against the Ender Dragon. Yeah, they die. Am I surprised? No, not at all. Yeah, well, the speedrunner spawns back into the overworld, they return to their completely legitimate end portal, and now they are back in the end. This time, though, the speedrunner is in a tank. Yeah, I wasn't really surprised by this one. Unfortunately though, the speedrunner is just so bad, even assault rifles and tanks will not help them to beat the game. Their speedrun timer reset to 0 seconds out of nowhere, I don't know what happened. And now they are at an all-time new low, floating around in creative mode, unable to even hit the dragon. And the way they kill the dragon is with a pickaxe. I refuse to believe this speedrun is real. I just refuse to believe it. But here's the real kicker. After they beat the game, in what time, I don't actually know because their timer malfunctioned, the speedrunner put text on the screen saying, "Don't forget, watch the credits." So if I skip through and listen to all the credits, it sounds like they brought their microphone into the bathroom by accident. It is repulsive.
Oh, Jesus Christ, it's coming along at all!
That is disgusting. Yeah, it just cuts off like that. This guy should honestly be banned from ever submitting a speedrun again in the future. Now listen, before I start this next speedrun, I'm just gonna preface by saying I am terrified. They're playing in windowed mode. They're speedrunning Minecraft 1.7. They've got a mini-map on the screen. These are red flags. This guy is up to no good. As soon as I start the speedrun, they are already on their way into the nether. Okay, I'll just roll with this. Let's see what happens. Their computer must be a potato PC because it just takes such a long time to load. When the speedrunner is in the nether, even though they're in survival mode, they are flying around, which I have no idea how, but they come across this chest. And in the chest, they find an M42 nuclear catapult. This one was legit. I am not messing with this speedrunner. This speedrunner spawns right in front of a village. You will not believe it. The player is walking towards the village. Fantastic spawn. Then they say this.
Strong focus on what I want.
And wow, face to face with a golem. This speedrunner's got some real gabagools on them. They say I'm gonna put some dirt in your eye. They kill the golem and get iron ingots. And then at a world record pace of 20 seconds, they dance with the iron ingots, craft it into a water bucket, bucket, and I personally have never seen this technique before in Minecraft speedrunning. They throw their water bucket at a lava pool, and holy cow, it turns into a nether portal. That was amazing. So the speedrunner enters the nether at a world record pace of 30 seconds, and then from there, they use never before seen techniques to traverse across the nether, and the speedrunner literally falls into a nether fortress.
My back!
How lucky is that? This speedrunner is so good, they are killing the wither and the blaze without even needing to touch them. How is this possible? I don't know. They get their blaze rod and sprint back to their nether portal. And from there, now that the speedrunner is in the overworld, somehow, I don't know how, someone's gonna have to explain this to me so my peanut-sized brain will be able to understand. They summon a stronghold in the middle of the sky. The speedrunner explores the stronghold with just so much swagger. The speedrunner says door, the door opens, then they find the portal room, and oh my goodness, it's a 12-eye? That is unbelievably lucky. So they jump into the portal, entering the end.
Damn!
The speedrunner breaks the end crystals, and with the power of James Brown, they defeat the Ender Dragon.
Now dig on this.
Now wait a second though, what does that mean? Dig on this? They're somehow turning back their speedrun timer. How is this possible? And just like that, the speedrunner beats Minecraft in a world record 1 minute and 0.78 seconds. And no, this was not the wrong footage. This speedrun is definitely promising. They're in survival mode, nothing fishy going on here. There is a CapCut watermark on their screen, and they are playing in windowed mode, which definitely makes me doubt if they are a true gamer. Who plays in windowed mode? Come on. But the speedrunner does say this before they begin speedrunning.
This is not fake. Trust me.
Yeah, this is not fake. I'm sorry, but if anyone says trust me, I'm automatically not gonna trust them. As soon as the speedrun starts, their timer starts at 1.25 seconds. Why it doesn't start at 0, I don't know. So the speedrunner jumps down, taking tons of damage, and they immediately start attacking his iron golem, and then they die. But you know, it's fine, their timer's still going. When they respawn, it's very clearly cut because they've already taken damage, they already have experience points. Oh, brother. So the speedrunner begins attacking the iron golem again, and they die again. Whoop-de-doo, I am not surprised by that. Again, there's another very sloppy cut. The speedrunner cannot spawn at an angle like this. Why are they cutting the footage? Also, I gotta say, while they are breaking this wood, I love how they have the most dramatic cinematic music playing in the background.
Alright, here we go. Hurry!
You're breaking wood, buddy. This is not anything earth-shattering. Anyways, the speedrunner creates a crafting table. Then the speedrunner creates a wooden axe. But while they're doing that, take a look at the top left corner of their screen. Their speedrun timer is not actually a real timer. It's just a screen recording of a YouTube video of a speedrun timer. So every time their speedrun timer gets to 1 minute, they just replay the same screen recording every minute. This is so goofy. I cannot bring myself to believe that this is real. Anyways, the speedrunner jumps back down, they start attacking the golem again, and after showing their lovely skill and agility by missing the golem, and surprisingly not dying, they do actually end up killing the golem. But as soon as they drop down to pick up their 4 iron ingots, there is the most obviously hilarious cut, where after the cut, there's just this sloppy pile of random nonsense in front of them on the ground, and they didn't even take the time to cut out the segment where they're switching to survival mode. So yeah, they got iron ingots, they got a netherite sword, a netherite chestplate, and eyes of ender. Oh my Lanta, you're not fooling anybody. Well, the speedrunner tosses one of their eyes of ender, and then they approach this large pile of hay. After breaking 2 blocks of hay, you can hear them slamming on their laptop keyboard, switching into creative mode.
But first, we need to get some hay bales.
And I guess they just forgot to cut this part out where they're shamelessly in creative mode, giving themselves a stack of hay. All the while, their speedrun timer has reset and it's now just showing YouTube. And it's like they're following a script. He goes right back into it saying, okay guys, we got our hay bales.
Alright guys, we just collected the hay bales.
This is probably some of the worst editing I have ever seen, ever. Well, their 1 minute speedrun timer is back on the screen. They throw another eye of ender and all of a sudden the speedrun footage is just in fast forward motion. While the timer is still going at the same pace, the speedrunner approaches a tree with beehives on it and they start attacking the beehives. Why? I do not know, I cannot tell you. They get very close to dying until there is just another shameless cut where the hive is gone, the bees are gone, they're in creative mode, and there's more netherite gear just hanging out on the ground chilling. While the speedrunner goes back into survival mode, revealing that they have 1.5 hearts, and then they're back on their script. But their game audio is so loud, you can't hear a single word that they are saying. It is hilarious.
Oh my god! Oh, look at it!
I am so genuinely confused. The speedrunner then puts down a crafting table and they start making bread in the slowest way possible. This is so wildly inefficient, but okay, let him cook. And then I guess to make up for the fact that he just wasted so much time being inefficient about crafting bread, the video is sped up again. They go into creative mode, throwing tons of Eyes of Ender. Then finally they break down and start typing the /locate command. Yeah, that's when you know you are desperate. They type in stronghold, but the game is saying there is no structure. Then they type in end portal. This speedrunner just cannot win. When is he gonna catch a break? The guy is throwing so many Eyes of Ender, it has become an ASMR video at this point. Until finally the speedrunner strikes gold. They realize, okay, I must be directly above the stronghold. They go back into survival mode and just resume their goofy script, acting like none of that ever happened.
Oh my god, somebody!
Hang on a second though, what in tarnation just happened? They were digging down, they were clearly right above the stronghold, then all of a sudden there's this random cut. It's the next day, and they have end portal frames in their inventory. Unfortunately, this segment was cut out of the speedrun. What happened in between? We are gonna go the rest of our lives never knowing. Well, anyways, the speedrunner creates the end portal, filling it with eyes, and they enter the end. And I'm not sure how or why, but when they get into the end, they full screen Minecraft. Buddy, you couldn't have done that like 5 minutes ago? This is probably one of the most cursed things I've ever experienced. Building up onto the top of the island with end portal frames. Like a true beginner, the speedrunner just starts looking at all of the Endermen, and their game audio is so loud compared to their microphone audio that you can just hear their muffled screams underneath the yelling of the Endermen.
Oh, why are there Endermen? Oh my god.
And with barely half a heart left, they panic and give themselves creative mode. Now that the speedrunner's in creative mode, they're just flying around willy-nilly, breaking all the end crystals. You cannot hear a single thing. Their game audio is cranked up to 11 with the bass boosted to 25.
Are you Enderman? I'm just trying to... This is the fastest speedrun.
And after they finish destroying all the end crystals, they shamelessly give themselves a water bucket, go into survival mode, and then they even have the gabagools to set their world spawn. So the speedrunner tries jumping off of the obelisk and doing a water bucket clutch, and they die. No surprise there. Now hang on a second, after they respawn, the set world spawn command didn't even work. If I go frame by frame, they clearly spawn in the overworld. So now the speedrunner is magically back in the end, they put themselves into survival mode, and they pick up all of the items that they lost when they died. Well, this is it. No more fooling around. The speedrunner is locked and loaded. They're on their way to the Ender Dragon to destroy this thing legitimately, and they're in creative mode again. Just spamming beds, and their game audio is so loud that you cannot hear a single thing. It is hilarious. After the Ender Dragon dies by completely natural causes, the speedrunner puts themselves back into survival mode, and you know what? What's a creative mode? I didn't see anything fishy about this speedrun.